Hello everyone. Today we are going to begin with the fourth poem in your syllabus called The Last Bargain by Rabindranath Tagore. So let's begin. Rabindranath Tagore was born on 7th May 1861 and he died on 7th August 1941. He was a Bengali poet, writer, composer and painter. Rabindranath Tagore became the first non-European to win the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1913 for his collection of poems Gitanjali. He was a very well-known poet and he has written a lot of poems in blank verse. Let's talk about this poem, The Last Bargain. This poem is written in free verse, meaning that it has no rhyme scheme. It conveys the idea that material wealth, power and beauty are worthless things because they are not eternal, they don't stay forever, so you should not keep running after them. The poet is in search of a metaphorical job which will give him eternal bliss and freedom. So the poet is searching for something which will stay with him forever. Although he's searching for a job, but he is searching for something which will stay with him forever. He's searching for a satisfaction which is eternal, a freedom which is eternal, which will live beyond life. Right? So this was the introduction of the poem and the poet. Let's read the poem now. Come and hire me, I cried while in the morning. I was walking on the stone-paved road. Sword in hand, the king came in his chariot. He held my hand and said, I'll hire you with my power. But his power counted for naught, and he went away in his chariot. In the heat of the midday, the houses stood with shut doors. I wandered along the crooked lane. An old man came out with his bag of gold. He pondered and said, I will hire you with my money. He weighed his coins one by one, but I turned away. It was evening. The garden hedge was all aflower. The fair maid came out and said, I will hire you with a smile. Her smile paled and melted into tears, and she went back alone into the dark. The sun glistened on the sand, and the sea waves broke waywardly. A child sat playing with the shells. He raised his head and seemed to know me and said, I hire you with nothing. From thenceforward, that bargain struck in child's play made me a free man. So let's start analyzing the poem stanza-wise. This is the first stanza. Come and hire me, I cried while in the morning. So I here is the poet. The poet says, come and hire me. He was crying out. This is morning time and he's crying out. He is open for job opportunities, looking for a job, and he's saying, come and hire me, come and employ me, right? Give me a job. I was walking on the stone paved road. So he's walking on the road which is stone paved. And he sees that sword in hand, the king came in his chariot. So he sees that a king was approaching him. He was coming towards him with a sword in hand. A chariot is a two-wheeled horse-drawn vehicle. I'll show you a picture. This is the picture of a chariot and here's a king. So the king was coming towards him with a sword in hand. And what does the king tell him? He says, he held my hand. He is the king here. My is the poet here. I will hire you with my power. So the king is offering him power. He says that I will hire you with my power. Because I am powerful, I'll hire you with my power. But his power counted for naught. Naught means nothing. His power counted for naught. He went away in his chariot. So the king said that I will hire you with my power, but the poet realized that his power counted for naught means his power does not actually mean anything. It means nothing to me, and he refused. The poet refused his job offer and he went away in his chariot. So in the first stanza, the poet wants to tell you that power in itself does not count for anything because power is useless, right? Let's move on to the second stanza. In the heat of the midday, the houses stood with shut doors. So in the first stanza, it was morning time. Now it is midday. It is noon time and it is very, very hot. So in the heat of midday, the houses stood with shut doors. The houses have shut doors. Everybody is inside the house. I wandered along the crooked lane. Wander means to roam around. The poet is roaming around. And why is he roaming around? Because he wants to look for a job. And he's wandering around the crooked lane. Crooked means curved, something which is not straight. So he's wandering along the crooked lane. An old man came out with his bag of gold. Suddenly he saw an old man and this old man had a bag full of gold. He pondered and said, I will hire you with my money. Ponder means to think deeply, right? So this old man thoughtfully said, I will hire you with my money. If you work for me, if you give me your services, I will hire you with my money. I will give you my money. So this old man has money to offer. Unlike the king who had power to offer to him, this old man has money to offer. He weighed his coins one by one, but I turned away. So this old man started to weigh his coins one by one. Weigh means he's basically showing his coins to this man and saying that I will hire you with my money. But the poet says that I turned away because he was not impressed with this old man's money, and he thinks that even money is useless. He will not get the satisfaction that he is looking for through money. So he does not want this old man's money. So let's move on to stanza number 3. It was evening. The garden hedge was all aflower. The fair maid came out and said, I will hire you with a smile. So now it is evening. In the first stanza, it was morning when the king approached him. In the second stanza, it was noontime when he met an old man. Now it was evening. The garden hedge was all aflower. Hedge is a barrier of bushes. It could be flowers, it could be bushes, it could be shrubs, it could be anything. So this is a picture of a hedge, which is a flower. There are a lot of flowers on this hedge. So it was evening time, the flowers were blooming. The fair maid came out and said, I will hire you with a smile. Fair maid means beautiful girl. Maid is a girl and fair means beautiful here. So a fair maid came, a beautiful girl came out and said, I will hire you with a smile. This girl was very beautiful and she said, I'm so beautiful, I will hire you with my smile. But her smile paled and melted into tears and she went back alone into the dark. So the poet realized that her smile is not something which will live on forever. If you are happy, if you're smiling, you will not be the same way forever, right? Your emotions keep on changing. So you will not be the same way forever. Your beauty fades away after a while. So her smile paled and melted into tears. She was smiling, but her smile paled. Paled means it faded away, and she started to get teary-eyed and she went back alone into the dark. Obviously, our poet refused this offer of this fair maid, and he did not want to work for this girl who was offering him beauty in return for his services. Now let's see what the poet actually wants. The sun glistened on the sand and the sea waves broke waywardly. So glisten means sparkle. So the sun was sparkling on the sand. The sand was shining in the sun and the sea waves broke waywardly. Wayward means in an unpredictable and deviated manner. So there's a normal path and there's a wayward manner. Wayward means moving away from the norm, moving away from the normal path. So the sea is very unpredictable. You don't know where the sea will go, right? So the sea waves are totally wayward and they are unpredictable. A child sat playing with shells. So look at the picture. There's a little child and he's playing with seashells. He raised his head and seemed to know me and said, I hire you with nothing. So this child offers this man a bargain in which he says that I hire you with nothing. I am offering you nothing. I am offering you neither power nor money or beauty. I am not offering you anything. From thenceforward means from that time forward. Since that time, that bargain struck in child's play made me a free man. So our poet decided to play with this child, spend his time playing with this child on the beach in the sand, spend his time playing with this child in return for nothing. And this innocence, this pure innocence that this child has, the very fact that this child is offering him nothing, neither beauty nor power, nothing, is the best bargain according to our poet. And why is this bargain the best bargain? Because it made him a free man. He is free from all the bondages that money, power and beauty bring with them, right? He is a free man. He can play freely. He can be as innocent as a child. He can play with this child. There are no expectations, nothing else. So he is a free man. This child is offering him innocence, freedom, right? And that is why he thinks that this is the best bargain. So he's giving his time, and in return for which he is becoming a free person, and that is why this is the best bargain. So our poet, who was looking for a job, finally decided to spend his time with a child playing on the beach. So that was it for the poem. I've explained the poem to you. Let's analyze the major themes now. The first theme is freedom. Like I said, the child offered freedom to him, and it was important because power and money are confining forces. Confining means these things bind you, they confine you, they are restrictive in a sense, right? They put you in a lockdown situation because they can never give you true freedom. If you have lots of power and lots of money, there comes a lot of responsibility with these things, right? If you have a lot of money, you will keep on worrying about where to store it, what to do with it, how to invest it, all of these things. If you have a lot of power, then you will have to be scared of other people who are jealous of your power, right? So the poet is looking for something which will give him freedom, and power and money are those things which will not give him any freedom, right? The second thing is worthlessness of material wealth. This is one of the major themes in the poem, because money does not stay forever. It is worthless to run after something like money, because material wealth, material means physical wealth, things that you gather around, like money, they do not stay forever. And beauty also fades away with age. As you grow old, your beauty fades away. Since these things do not stay forever, it is useless to run after these things. A person should stop running after money and power, because these things are worthless, and one should look for innocence, kindness, and eternal happiness, satisfaction, things which are not material. The third theme is satisfaction. True satisfaction, according to the poet, comes from innocence and kindness which touch the soul. So the only things which give you pure satisfaction in life are innocence and kindness, just like that of a child. And power, money, wealth, beauty, all of these things cannot give you true satisfaction. Because why? Because these are not eternal things. They don't stay with you forever. They are bound to go away, and whenever you lose your money, your power, your beauty, you surely will become sad. These things will never give you true satisfaction. The satisfaction which will touch your soul will only come from innocence and kindness. And that is why the poet in the end finally decides to spend his time with this child who offers him nothing, and he hires him with nothing. That's it for the poem. Thank you so much for watching.